Hi, my name is Derek Kang. In this video, I'm going to show you how to deploy Avi Vantage with no access mode in the VMware vCenter environment. With no access mode, you are not required to enter your vCenter credentials in Avi Controller. This video is applicable to Avi Vantage release 15.2.2. We are going to use this diagram for our deployment. There are three networks, one for Avi management, one for web servers for load balancing, and one for virtual service IP address facing the external network. In addition, we have a vCenter to deploy the Controller OVA and the Service Engine OVA files. You are going to need an Avi Controller OVA file and vCenter for this deployment. There are 5 major steps for deployment. Step 1. Deploy the controller OVA file and power it on. Step 2. Connect the controller via browser and follow the instructions of the installation wizard. You will be able to download the Service Engine OVA file from the controller. Step 3. Deploy the Service Engine. Step 4. Configure Service Engine interfaces using Avi UI. The final step is to configure virtual service for load balancing. Let's get started. Let's deploy the Avi Controller OVA file using vSphere client. Log into your vSphere client. Deploy OVF template. Choose the Avi Controller OVA file you downloaded from the Avi portal site. Select a data center, a cluster, and an ESX server for VM deployment. Select thick provision for disk. Select a port group for the controller interface. Provide an IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway for the controller. Deploy the VM. After the VM deployment is complete, it can take about 3 to 5 minutes for the controller to be ready for its UI access. Now let's set up the Avi controller. Connect to the Avi UI via browser. Create password for the admin account. Provide DNS and NTP information. Choose No Orchestrator. Download the OVA image of a service engine. Choose No for multi-tenancy. Let's deploy the Avi Service Engine OVA file. Go to your vSphere client. Select Deploy OVF template. Choose the Service Engine OVA file. Download it from the controller. Select a data center, a cluster, and an ESX server. Choose thick provision for disk. The Service Engine has 10 interfaces. Of 10, we are going to use 3 interfaces. The first one is for the management network. The second one is for virtual service network. The third one is for server network. Enter the controller IP address previously deployed. Leave the management interface IP address blank because we are going to use DHCP. Deploy the VM. After VM deployment is over, it can take up to 3 minutes for the service engine to connect to the controller. Now let's configure Avi Service Engine interfaces using Avi UI. Go to the Infrastructure menu, click the Service Engine tile, Click Edit to see Service Engine interfaces. As we see here, the Service Engine has one management interface and 9 data interfaces. ETH0 is the management interface and it is already configured. We have to configure data interfaces. One caveat is data interface names are different than the ones used by vCenter. To enable DHCP on correct data interfaces, we have to know the mappings between the names used by Service Engine and the names used by vCenter based on MAC address. To do this, let's go to vSphere client. The network adapter 1 is always mapped to the management interface of the Service Engine and is already configured as I mentioned before. Network adapter 2 and 3 are data interfaces on the Service Engine. The last 2 octets of the MAC address of network adapter 2 is B914. Let's find out the interface with the same MAC address on the Service Engine. It's ETH5. Enable DHCP on it. Using the same method, let's find out the Service Engine interface for network adapter 3. It's ETH3. Enable DHCP on it. Now, let's verify if IP addresses are assigned to the data interfaces via DHCP. They all look good. With this, the controller is good to go for virtual service configuration. Let's configure a virtual service for load balancing. Log into the Avi controller. Create a new virtual service with basic setup. Provide a user-friendly name for virtual service and the VIP address. Enter server IP addresses for load balancing. Now the virtual service configuration is done. Let's generate some traffic to the virtual service. Now let's verify traffic using Avi UI. Click Logs. Click Non-Significant Logs. These are transactions we just generated. Thank you.